Okay, guys, we're back. I had a feeling that was going to happen yet again. So let's try it again. This seems to happen whenever we come back from a break. Okay, book is not quite done. We've got about maybe another day or two left on that. But figured we should bring back the webcast. And let's go back and go through the charts once again. There's the potential temperature. We've got the look of maybe cold polar air covering this area right there, high pressure in the Tennessee, Kentucky area, and the backside of that cold air mass is right there in the New Mexico region. And then it looks like another little boundary up over Oregon like that. So let's look at something different. There's the thickness for this afternoon. Definitely a baroclinic high there over the southeastern U.S., extending northward as a ridge up to the Great Lakes. So this is all an area of strong pressure gradient, or thermal gradient, but that's spreading apart due to the divergent pattern of the winds. The flow is coming together in the western U.S., and it looks like we've got a warm front like that, cold front extending from northwest Montana up to northern California, and it looks like that goes right through the San Joaquin Valley, somewhere right in there. So that's what we're going to look at on the charts, and we'll go to that. We'll start with the western U.S. right there, and then trying to find the front. Well, we've got southerly flow in Utah, also in eastern Nevada, and we've got temperatures there a bit mild, running from about 59 up to about 74 degrees. So this is probably going to all be tropical air. In the San Joaquin Valley, we do see a little bit of northwesterly flow there at Stockton. Temperatures a bit on the cold side, about 54 there at Sacramento. Same situation up in the Oregon area around Portland. Temperatures a bit cold there, a little bit of northwesterly flow, so it's kind of hard to place that based strictly on the surface data. So I might be thinking of something like that tentatively. Can't really place that with the surface data. I'm going to want to look at upper level data, 850 and 700 millibars. And of course that right there is very excellent for placement. So here I can see Northern California, that's definitely going to be up in the polar air. Las Vegas, we can see that's definitely in the tropical air. So using that, we can kind of place exactly where we would expect to find the front. So that's going to run from probably about Winnemucca down through Bishop, California, and down to Vandenberg. And while we're at it, we can also take a look at Europe. There's what's going on there this evening. We've got a very strong westerly component from the English Isles into Germany and Poland. High pressure over France, way down here. And the 500 millibar pattern suggesting the jet is running something like that right there. And that's going to be over the top of the frontal gradient. So I think what we're looking at here is maybe a front kind of like this, and then possibly a warm front extending south kind of like that right there. And that places Germany underneath this large area of isentropic lift. Out into the North Sea area, this is kind of like overrunning. And the result from that is a lot of rain and clouds this time of year. And there's the thickness in isobars, and just running through that very quickly. Cold front right there through northern England into southern Ireland. And there's our warm front extended southward to about Paris into central France. And north of that, we've got an included front running up north into the Shetland Isles area. So this area here, this is going to be poleward of the frontal system. So this is all cold polar air. Looks like a little bit of a polar vortex there over Sweden. And things look a little bit unsettled down in Greece. Looks like a little bit of a frontal system going on in that region right there. So let's check that out on the surface chart. Okay, this is going to be Greece right there. So that looks like a pretty good preliminary placement there for the front right there. We've got temperatures in the 60s in Greece. And then you go north of the warm front, temperatures drop to about, looks like about 38 to 41 in Romania. And lots of rain in that area. And then extending south of Sicily. There's our frontal system right there, moving through the Mediterranean with very strong northwest flow behind that cold front right there. So that's pushing eastward into the area around Cyprus into Greece. So that's going to bring a change as it passes that area there. So quite a bit of active weather there in the eastern Mediterranean. Okay, back to the U.S. Let's check out what's happening. Let me move to the satellite picture. There's a look from Goes West. This is kind of a hemispheric shot. And we've got the Pineapple Express set up. Source of all that tropical air is southeast of the Hawaiian Islands. And there's that plume of moisture moving up to the western U.S., so no wonder they're getting quite a bit of rain there in California and Nevada. Okay, taking a look at chat. Let's see, we got Sue M here, Fun with Tech, and Burl H, Adam Davis. David Moore and David Holcomb. Fun with Tech says, it's been so long since I've been here, all the settings are off. And yeah, it definitely seems like that. Got Ryan Toomey's here, Mike Estwick, and Thomas Copeland, and everybody joining us on what's a pretty quiet Sunday evening here. There's a look at the water vapor imagery. So this is showing a lot of the mid-tropospheric and upper-level moisture. There it is off the coast of California, off to the left side of the screen. And we can see the air flowing around this ridge here in the Rocky Mountain region. So there's our ridging, and then the long wave troughing is out on the east coast, somewhere in that area right there. Okay, to the upper level charts, 200 millibar charts showing that ridge there from the Four Corners area northward to Saskatchewan. Polar front jet, pretty far north for this time of year. And it looks like the subtropical jet is showing up all the way down in Texas, helping to bring some of that cloud material that we're seeing there with the opening clip. And 700 millibar chart showing a little bit of that ridging. Four Corners northward to the northern high plains. And then 850 is going to show a little bit of a reflection of that low-level system there in California. You can see the temperatures there run from 15 at Vandenberg down to 7 at Oakland. So that's a change from about 45 Fahrenheit up to about almost 60 Fahrenheit. Pretty good change. And we can probably place the 850 front kind of like that right there. Okay, so things are pretty active there in the western U.S., and I think we're going to see that frontal system move into the Great Basin and into the Rockies over the next couple of days. So let's head into that forecast and take a look. Okay, GFS forecast. There we go. This is going to be kind of a current chart there, showing that rain there in Northern California. And then over the overnight hours, you can see the system there moving into Idaho, western Montana, western Wyoming. And then we see a pattern kind of like that right there. Looks like a little bit of a cold blast coming through the Dakotas. And let's see how far that gets. That's going to be moving southward. And out of the Great Lakes area, looks like the warm front moves very quickly through that area. So by tomorrow morning, actually by, let's see here, Tuesday morning, yeah, that warm front's going to be all the way around Lake Huron into Lake Erie. So here comes the front, and that's going to be our first big change. We get the formation of a wave there in Oklahoma. So there's a look at the patterns there. System coming together there in Oklahoma, just a very small system. In the north of that, there's the polar high, bringing a lot of that cold air into that region. Things do look pretty unsettled out in the western U.S. And I'm going to go with something like that for the tail end of that frontal boundary. Okay, whatever's in Oklahoma starts breaking up, and then we get another burst of energy coming from the north. This is going to be during the day on Tuesday, and there it goes. Moves very quickly through. So by Friday, we should see things cool down in the central U.S. and around Texas. So high pressure for the rest of the week, and next big change will be out to the west. There it is right there, a big vortex in Oregon for Sunday. And there's the frontal system moving through California. That'll cross the Rockies, very unsettled around the 4th and 5th. And then we see that emerging into the plains. You can see the Gulf is wide open. So we're going to have a chance here of severe weather around the 4th and 5th. And there's our system coming together. And just a quick look at where the warm front is. I'm going to probably go with, I don't know, it's very difficult. I'm probably going to do something like that right there. You can see some of the precip a little bit heavier north of where I drew that boundary. There in Illinois, in Indiana, a little bit weaker to the south. Now, one way we can really pin that down, let's see, we'll go to the 5th at 0Z and take a look at the temperature chart. Okay, so there's the 5th at 0Z. So now we can pretty much pin down where that warm front is. And it looks like that runs from central Mississippi to southwestern Missouri, and then right up there towards Salina. So now we can use that data to kind of pin down what's happening. So there we go. So there's our exact placement on the warm front. So it looks like some of the heavier severe risk will be just north of that, possibly around Memphis, St. Louis, and Nashville. Maybe a little bit of severe weather there for the 5th. Looks like a little bit of a blizzard there in Denver, Scottsbluff, and North Platte. So we'll keep an eye on that. Things move pretty quickly to the east, and there it goes during the day on the 5th. And there's peak heating on Wednesday the 5th. So this will definitely be something to watch there in Tennessee and Kentucky. Looks like the warm front will lift up to the north there. But we can see a little bit of a wave developing along that boundary, and that could be enough to back the winds just north of that low right there. So there could be some good photographs there in Tennessee and Kentucky. And behind that, pretty good blast of cold air coming in for the 6th and 7th. You can see the 540 line comes all the way down to San Antonio and Houston. So this will be a pretty cold one. Probably afternoon temperatures in the 30s and 40s in Texas and Louisiana. And then things are pretty quiet, a little bit of a system coming together for the 11th and 12th. And there that goes for the southern U.S., and then we get to the end of the frame there. So that's about all I've got. So I guess I'll get back to my book here. I appreciate you all watching. Let me take a look at the chat real quick. Denver, 64 degrees where Mike Estwick is. Rare piece of downtime, fun, nice to be back. Quiet day in Colorado. 42 degrees there with where Fun with Tech is. Should be warmer tomorrow. And Sue M says hit that like button. And I do appreciate it. And once I get this book out of the way, I'll be able to concentrate fully on this webcast. And I'll probably, run some promotions to bring in some new subscribers, because we haven't done that in a while. Okay, so that's all I have for this evening. Thank you for watching the webcast, and we will see you tomorrow.